All right, everybody, this is Joey from Mangalodon, and I'm here with Jake.
What's up?
We have a pretty crazy chapter this week, 907. A lot of crazy stuff going down. We have three of the five Yonko in this chapter. We switch between them, the Marines, CP0, Celestial Dragons, and obviously the Kingdoms. And a lot of weird stuff's going down, and it's gearing up to be something pretty cool coming soon. So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, first of all, this chapter started off crazy. We go back to Whole Cake Island, which I wasn't expecting to see quite so soon, and I'm fine with it. It's cool to see like what Big Mom's doing. I think we're all wondering what's going on with Jinbei. Fortunately, we don't get that information, but we do find out that apparently Big Mom and Kaido have worked in the past, and it might be happening again, which is insane. So, what do you think, Joey? Do you think that Big Mom will show up to Wano?
I'm sure she will. I just feel like maybe Kaido doesn't really actually want to associate with her, and he might actually try just like taking her out. It's like kind of getting rid of your rival. So.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there's no chance they'll work together like perfect little teammates or something, you know?
yeah, so they'll definitely end up either taking each other out or give somebody an opportunity to take one of them out.
Yeah, or better yet, Blackbeard comes in and takes them both out or something, and like
Then it's down to
things are,
three.
yeah, who knows how could it all go?
And then it cut over to the Marines talking about whether or not they should do anything. Um, any thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, I thought it was pretty interesting that Kizaru was just like, should I go deal with it? Like, do you really think you can? Like, personally, I never thought that Kizaru would be able to take on one Yonko, but two? I don't know, just me. I get that the admirals are like the best contenders,
They're very
but
strong.
yeah, he was just like, well, yeah, I'll go do it.
He has a really good power too.
Yeah, I'm sure he could escape really easily if he needed to. And so there was that, and then uh, Akainu was all like, why don't we? Akainu was like, we don't really have to do it because it's in Wano, and Wano's not associated with the world government, which is kind of interesting that there's just they can be completely like off the grid like that. Because I kind of figured the world government kind of just like took their own liberties and like applying justice to like all around the world, you know?
Means they don't have to deal with celestial dragons too, probably.
Yeah, that's true. Celestial dragons probably can't go there without being like murdered. Which I think also like maybe that puts a higher threat of Wano like being Buster called though, because
Mm.
it's not even like an actual country to the government, I guess.
That or
Anyways,
they're definitely afraid of the people there. And they're
oh
definitely
yeah,
very strong.
I'm sure the Shogun is a crazy badass. I'm sure everyone there is. But anyways, the this part of the chapter also links up with GARP, who's meeting up with like a bunch of Marine people, including Hina, and I guess also some of the girls in the backgrounds were other contenders for like they were like runner-up admirals apparently, according to an SBS. So I think two of the girl characters in the background, if you notice them, could have been admirals. Pretty cool.
They definitely are a strong group because, like, why would Garp be associating with anybody that's not really his level or above him or anything? So,
Yeah.
and I still honestly think Garp is probably, if not the strongest, he's probably up there. Like, I know Sengoku.
I mean, like I'd say like uh fucking Sakazuki's his name, but Akainu. I'd say Akainu is probably like the best contender for Garp on who's the strongest.
Because
And,
I know that like everything with Gold Roger, he like handed himself over, but he had to have clashed with actually fighting him. And if he was the Pirate King, there's got to be something to say about Garp. Like,
hmm hmm
so him to associate with these people, they have to be something worthwhile, and to be sitting
Yeah.
there eating and having like a party with them almost.
Well,
So
you can see Django from Usopp's Island is there, so you can only unleash goats. It's a very dangerous situation. But they also mention in that panel about how we got the name Hero of the Marines, and about this incident with the rocks. It could be a place, it could be a group, but I guess it's where Garp earned his name as the Hero of the Marines, and they mentioned that was over 40 years ago, which I think is before Roger's era. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean it would have to be right, because like,
Yeah.
but
Do you think it has to do with Big Mom and Kaido's like team up before?
it could have to do something with that. I mean, he is very strong, so that might be.
If he was able to take on both of them, that is crazy.
He is insanely strong, and he doesn't
Yeah.
have a devil fruit that we know of.
And he's a D.
Has he fallen into water or anything ever?
He does not have a devil fruit, that's for sure.
He could be hiding it.
He could be, but I'll assume not.
He's a dog man.
Honestly, first time you see him, he's wearing a dog hood. Never brought up again. Anyways, let's move on in the chapter. So now we're about halfway through the chapter, and finally the title of the chapter is revealed why it's called The Empty Throne. It's because the empty throne. We got some Game of Thrones kind of homage in there. Not kind of homage, like super homage with all those weapons. What do you think about the design of the empty throne?
I liked it. It was pretty cool.
It's super badass. I thought there's the weapons up at top by the throne, like that the 20 like founders put, and I thought that was cool. It's like, okay, like they made their pledges and put the weapons because clearly he wanted to have a bunch of swords, so it's like Game of Thrones. Because as you know, Oda is a fan. But then there's like even more swords on like the second level, and I was like, Jesus, man, you're really going for it. But it looks cool.
I can't remember. Was it like a giant throne, or is it like it's
Yeah,
big around, but it's like a normal size seat, or is it huge?
it's like a normal sized seat, and then it's super tall.
Mm.
Yeah, and so we have Sabo's brother Stelly being shown the throne and being told what it means, and he doesn't listen to a word of it. Of course, he's just like, I just want to sit on it and rule the world.
Maybe it's. It's
And
something.
make,
It might end up coming up if he sneaks off during action to go sit on it, or some crazy thing might happen.
well, the first thing when I was reading this chapter, the first thing when I saw that throne, I was like, I have to see Sabo sitting on this throne by the end of the arc. I have to see
I could see
Sabo.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect because Stelly wants to. So if Sabo was just like,
He's like,
buddy,
nope. Right
yeah,
before he's about to sit in it.
I got here first. Sorry.
He's like kicked back, reclining, and he's like, "Yep."
Yeah, yeah, totally. It'd be so badass. So then that's the whole part about the throne. It was only like 2 pages, but obviously super set up.
Something has to happen with that. There's no way
Yeah,
nothing happened. That doesn't happen.
yeah.
And then it goes over to like Sarah Hoshi at that point, and
Mm.
she's being like captured by the celestial dragons. Nobody can really do anything because they can't go against them, and it's kind of an ordeal. And Neptune gets a little pissed off. He's about to go in, and then the CP0 shows up, and Rob Lucci's like, "All right, you can do that. You're probably gonna die though." And,
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Rob Lucci showing up. You didn't see that coming at all, did you?
no, honestly, I didn't really expect to see him again. I don't know. I thought like I know like he didn't die, or he's part of the Marines, so like nothing
Hmm.
bad happened to him. Like he got captured by them, or but like I don't know. Just kind of thought after he got his ass kicked by Luffy, like what
Hmm.
is there really to see out of this guy again? Like
Yeah,
I
that's
know he's definitely strong, and he's got a really strong power. Like he's super fast, and like with training and fighting, and he can get faster, stronger. But
yeah. I'm sure over the 2 years he got stronger too. But like we knew that he was in CP0 because back in Dressrosa you see his silhouette, and then in the movie Film Gold you see him straight up in CP0.
hmm.
But the thing is, it should have been obvious that CP0 would show up at the Reverie, and I just didn't think about it at all because there's so much more going on.
I mean,
But
it definitely makes sense to have somebody there to protect the dragons, but
yeah, and And now you understand, like, we didn't really know what CP0 was doing before, but apparently they work for the Celestial Dragons, which actually kind of makes sense. CP0 was the one that came through Baltigo. After Baltigo got taken over by the Blackbeard pirates, it was CP0 then swooped in, and it makes you think the CP0 is probably, if you think about it, revolutionaries are probably the main threat to the Celestial Dragons. Like, that's their point, to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that CP0, basically the force of the Celestial Dragons, would fight the revolutionaries. So that's probably why they're here.
Now, do you
And
think that they're stronger or as strong as the revolutionaries, or do you think like Sabo is just way stronger than all of them?
that's a great question. So at the end of Film Gold, you see Sabo clash with Lucy, but it's literally nothing. They're just stalemate and then they leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's much to go off of. But like, from what we've seen of Sabo, he just wrecked the Dressrosa Coliseum. And not only that, he also stood up to Fujitora, who, Admiral level. I honestly think Sabo can take Rob Lucci, especially if Luffy already could.
I feel like Sabo is way stronger than Luffy at the moment, and like just the fact that he was around Luffy's dad that whole time and all the revolutionary people like way before Luffy even was. So like
Hmm.
I feel like he is definitely stronger than Luffy, and if he's stronger than Luffy, he's definitely stronger than Lucci.
Yeah. It's definitely like you'd have to put it to the test when if he's stronger than Luffy or not, because Luffy's definitely a badass.
Well,
But
he
I do
was like strong without Devil Fruit, and now he has the Devil
exactly.
Fruit, and he's you know
Yeah, assuming he learned how to use his Devil Fruit, Sabo has to be like unstoppable. So I think, plus this is gonna be the first time we really see like the revolutionaries do anything. If they were to like get stopped by Rob Lucci, it would take away a lot of the hype. I kind of think Rob Lucci is here to hype up. It's going to be basically fan service to see Sabo beat Rob Lucci. I think,
Yeah, I think he's literally going to just kick his ass and like no effort.
and I would be fine with that.
You might see
Because
like Lucci like kick somebody's ass like no problem, then all of a sudden Sabo comes out of nowhere, just like it's like oh okay.
yeah, like even this chapter alone, it made Lucci look like badass enough where you're like, oh yeah, like let's not forget Lucci is cool, and it's the perfect time that like if Sabo came and kicked his ass, you'd be like, wow, Sabo's way cooler though.
It doesn't really do him much favors though, seeing how he's not really there to fight anybody strong.
Hmm.
Essentially, like he's just like I mean, the king of Neptune's Neptune's probably the strongest out of the people there.
Yeah, and he's fodder to Lucci still.
Yeah.
And then really quickly, we just mentioned Kaku's also here. I didn't expect that at all. Pretty sick.
Yeah, I don't really expect his Devil Fruit powers to give him much of an advantage in the fight, but I guess there
I'm
is
sure
something
it's
special about
better.
it.
Yeah. I mean, if he even can just use it to, have more muscle power or something. Then you also see Stussy, to be expected because she was like the only member of CP0 that we actually knew. She's looking good. We have another really tall masked person in the background. Don't know what's going on there, but that's how CP9 also wore a mask like that when they were first revealed, so we'll find out soon enough. Um, so then so Joey, how does Shirahoshi get free?
All right, so Neptune gets super pissed. He doesn't care. He's just gonna go in. Lucci's like, you can do whatever. I'm gonna stop you. You're not hitting the Celestial Dragon. And then out of nowhere, just Mosgard, Saint Don Quixote, Mosgard. I like the
Hmm.
Quixote in there. Um, just hits him with like was like a metal bat or something, a
Yeah,
club. He just the
it's like
guy's face is
Vito's
almost
club.
as beat up as when Luffy punched him, and
Yeah,
it was awesome. Because like the guy is a celestial dragon, he still looks like an idiot, but like One, the Quixote thing. There's got to be some kind of relationship there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this guy's very strong, if he's weak, but you get to see that he is a human, and he's not just like a god in his eyes.
Hmm.
He states it himself, and he thinks the whole Fishman Island for like saving him and changing his life. So uh,
Yeah. It's cool to see that like he learned from the past and that like there actually can be celestial dragons that aren't just total pricks. Because from what I thought, and probably you too, I just figured every single celestial dragon in the story was just a cocky jerk, like
mm.
just full of
Well,
themselves.
they don't have to worry about anything. They rule the world.
Exactly. So it's really cool to see that like there are some like real people in them, and that can definitely like play a role in like who the revolutionaries actually attack.
You could honestly just be working with them and setting
That
up things from the side.
that'd be great, man. He seems like he would too. Like he seems like he's really down to business.
Mm.
So then there's the last bombshell of the chapter, literally not even a full page basically. So we got the five elders, and who is it that's talking to him, Joey?
Is another Yonko. It's Shanks.
Shanks, man. We haven't seen Shanks. We got like one panel of him maybe a couple chapters ago, but we haven't seen Shanks do something in the story since Marineford. And that was so long ago.
That's a pre time skip.
Yeah, man, like and like this is not how I thought I would see Shanks.
He's alone too. Like, and that just
Yeah.
shows you like how he doesn't care at all.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
Like he must be a terrifying man for the just to go straight to the five elders and be like, "Look, got something to say."
I mean, Shanks has definitely always been like my favorite character since like the first few chapters.
Yeah.
Like when you see the his hockey without knowing what it is, and
Hmm.
all of his not what is it called, the not the hockey, the power where you can just like knock people out. What is it called?
Oh, Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's ugh, guy's great.
I know he's just the definition of badass. Like, and there's so much lore in the story about him. There's this line from the first chapter where he says, "You know how the big guy, Lucky Roo, he just shoots the guy in the side of the head when he's not looking."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "What do you expect? We're not saints. We're pirates. We fight dirty, and there's no shame in it because we're pirates." And that's I kind of like look back on that line even better now because here's a pirate going to the Marines, essentially, the world government, saying like, "Look, there's a problem stirring," and just because he's a pirate, he doesn't care if he's talking to Marines. Like, he does whatever it takes to get the job done. He doesn't have some sort of like pirate pride, which it just fits his character perfect.
So he's talking about somebody he wants to talk about. Who do you think that person is?
I'm like 75, 80% sure that it would be Blackbeard, just because he's got the scar on his eye. He went to Whitebeard to try to talk about Blackbeard. This whole story he's been like Blackbeard, Blackbeard, Blackbeard. The only other option I think everyone else would think too is Luffy, because Luffy has the biggest target on his back ever right now. But even then, I still think it's Blackbeard. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think it's definitely like maybe like 90-10 split.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff revolving around like Luffy right now, and that whole giant straw hat thing, or just normal.
Yeah,
I don't.
exactly.
I still can't tell, but it could be a lot of different things, and it's all coming at us all at once. It's kind of hard to make assumptions, but I feel like it definitely has to be something with Blackbeard. You haven't heard about him in a while. He's still a threat. I mean, we've been focused on other Yonko, but like what's Blackbeard doing? He has 2 devil fruits. He's insanely strong. His pirate crew's literally insane. And
they took over Baltico. I mean, we haven't seen the guy since the time skip. It's about time he gets brought up. I think it just fits.
Some of the new generation people, was it the great what did they call?
The worst generation.
The worst generation. They tried dealing with him, right? And they got their asses handed to him, or is that with Kaido?
That was with Kaido.
That was with Kaido. Okay.
But I'm pretty sure Jewelry Bonnie got taken by Blackbeard. I'm pretty sure it was her. So yeah, like, you know, the guy seemingly is unstoppable, considering that Shanks, probably the biggest badass of the series, is going to the government for help.
He's definitely worried.
And then, but like, the only, like, you know, as much as I want to say this is 100% right prediction, besides Luffy or Blackbeard, there's a chance, you know, he's talking about the glorious Buggy.
You know, there's a strong possibility.
You never. I think it's the one he should be talking about. Come the end of the story.
He's a warlord, right?
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of funny, I think in the beginning of the chapter they mentioned the only people capable of stopping a Yonko are the admirals and warlords. And I think we know that's not true at all.
I think, honestly, Buggy might actually be stronger than we, like, are made to believe, but...
Oh yeah, totally. I think Buggy's going to be a huge player in the end of the story. He's just being overlooked.
Well, that's basically the chapter.
Yeah, time will tell on that one. What would you give this chapter out of 10?
I give it a 10 because like it's stirring up some stuff. It's getting my interest, and I like to see GARP. I like to see Shanks. Little side things like Mosgard whacking the other celestial dragon.
Yeah, it's sweet, man. The whole time I was reading this chapter, I was like giddy. It was so good. I'd give it a 10 too. I feel like I've been giving every chapter like 10s or 9s so far, but
we're just in a good spot right now.
Oh, it's the reverie. I mean, come on.
All right, well, that's going to be our chapter review for One Piece. Is a long one, but you know, it's a lot to say this week. So
definitely, let us know who you think Shanks is going to talk about in the next chapter, assuming we get to hear it, in the comments below.
All right, and we will all see you all next time.